Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for more Mushishi, moving into that kind of second core of Season 2, I guess you would say. Zoku Shou there, of course. We're very excited to be continuing. I will preface this video, and you can probably already see it. I don't have air conditioning, and it's hot as fuck, so I'm going to be sweating up a storm in here. We're getting it fixed soon. It should be fine. The sacrifices of needing to record at this certain time of day, I guess. Just thought I'll get that out there first, just so people don't think I'm literally dying in front of them. I still could be, I don't know, but no YouTube comments there regardless. I guess we're all technically always dying a little bit. Anyway. It's probably a bit more of a broader conversation than I'm ready for this morning, but we're having it anyway, why not? Either way, Patreon. You can get that 1 week ahead if seeing next week's Mushishi episodes is something that interests you, along with Musume, along with Princess Tutu. A very big thank you to the following people who have done just that. That'd be Sean, Ace Lightning, AJ, Akomancer, Banana Muhammad Damasama, BD422, Botero, Brendan M. Gibbons, Brett Jones, Bryce Peak, Capella, Choberibi, Copley, Cure Dynamic, Dakota, Dapper Dwarf, Diark Lord, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fluffy, Fried Rice, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Hans Peter, Ika, Yaku Yavnen, Jacob R, Jeff Solis, Joran, Kosogtha, Clem, Lick H, Lou, Lupe Ferrugia, Mickey Babbers, Miru, Mistake El Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. VDX, Nature Without Man, Noah, Panic, Pencil Shop 333, Pike, Runlad BNK, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, SGM Jarnus, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Ren, Jami Boo, Binchi, Kelvin, and Vanessa Gonzalez. Thank you very much for giving me money. I enjoy the money. You can probably see I'm already covered in sweat. That's why I was laughing halfway through that. This is ridiculous. Okay. Alright, I gotta lock in. Mushishi, it's a episodic show. I do not need to set it up in the same way I set up other shows. We are coming off something that was pretty contiguous, though. I would imagine we're going back to episodic stuff before revisiting this towards the end of the series. That would be Forbidden Mushi, that would be the whole Tanyu side of things, that would be like all the stuff we addressed last week. And yeah, without any further ado, I guess we're just going to jump in here. It's designated as episode 13, kind of considering that last week was 11 and 12, I guess, so episode 13. It's going to look weird in the YouTube playlist, I guess, but I digress. Rightio, we have episode 13 of Mushishi up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 47 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have those decky nice subs from the ARC version. Get that version if you'd like my version. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Never has there been a song more inappropriate for how I'm feeling. It's gonna be a bit of a struggle. I should have planned this better. Anyway. We're gonna try to be shivering regardless. Actually curious, can I quickly see the humidity today? I'd love to see it. I know we're expecting storms this afternoon. Where's my weather at? Noticeable humidity, 52%? What? It feels worse than 52%. I don't know. Confluence of factors. I ran this morning, so I'm already heated up a little bit. As well as, just came out of the shower as well. So, I'm not doing myself any favors. Oh yeah, I should say I saw the episode was called Cushion of Grass. So far, very much a Mushishi episode. Hello, my friend. Some restless boys. Whoa, what the fuck is that? That's crazy. It's like a portal or something. Oh, what the fuck? No, we need that guy. Wake up, please, Ginkgo. You must listen. Now we might flash back a tad. It's interesting coming off the back of last week, though. Yeah, similar houser almost, you know? With the foliage growing out of the roof. Little kid, little kid. So we're way back now even. Yeah, gotcha. Well, you look like some kind of apothecary. Sounds like me. Suguro. I think we mentioned another Mushishi in the past that took him in. Tokoyami. Something happened. Correct. You got it in one. Normal. Well, yeah, we knew that already, for sure. Thank you, Suguro. Well, some interesting tidbits in there. Oh, yeah, the eyes. So we're already building contrast between whatever's the eyes and Suguro there in a cool way. Again, one on the human side, one on the Mushi side, you know. Let's go for a walk. Love me some potent herbs. Yeah, start smoking. Be good for you. So it's pretty clear to see that this is taking on a similar role to the One-Eyed Fish episode. Just showing how Ginkgo became Ginkgo. Where that one was more the process, this one's more the philosophy. And we're going to learn it from our good friend Sukuro. That's what I believe, at least. Do you have guns? There it is. Maybe I'm just like forgetting. I didn't know the guns were a thing. Sometimes worrying's okay. You at least gotta think about stuff. Correct. Cool shot. The layers in the background there are cool. Well, especially with the herbs being so potent. Pretty important. So you are worrying a little bit. I don't know. There's no use getting yourself worked up, but you should still worry, I guess, is my my 2 cents. And see how it's through the other eye too? Great. I think he's cocked it. 100%. I don't think so. You should stay here. Get a little snail girl to be God. Mountain Lord. Couldn't hurt. Whoa. Well, it's probably a good sign, right? It reminds me of the eyes of the Mountain Lord from before. Egg! Break the world shell quickly. Yeah, but don't fuck with it. You better not fuck with it. Oh I mean, maybe you do need to care for it, considering that fucking Mama passed away or whatever. The Mountain Lord, the Mountain Lady. I don't know. What if you just ate it? Huh. What do you mean by that? Well, you're the unchosen one, in your view. Interesting. No! I fucking needed that. He fucked up pretty bad. Nah, he's done. He's done. He's done. It's interesting that the yolk there kind of looked like Corky. This is such a cool scene. I love like the mountain dying around him. Whoa! He's back? Oh, it's a metaphor. Gotcha. Where'd you go? He just fell through the ground? He took a little tumble. Voice acting really good there. It's kind of cute. He's just bathing in the river. Like, forever, he's gonna bathe in the river. A little bit sad. Yeah, it makes the circle whole. Wonder how this is in the manga. I don't think you should kill yourself. Ooh, crazy. Hmm. Whom? Well, reminds me of episode 1. That effect. The banquet. Is that a good thing? I thought it was going to repair the egg. But it seems like it's just taken it and put it back over there, where the dead guys are. I think you did the right thing. You showed enough remorse. Hmm. It felt like forgiveness. Damn. Okay. We're not gonna let bygones be bygones. Cool hat. Is he just sleeping in some field? Oh, okay, there was more. I'm getting some mixed signals. I hope I never see you again, but you're welcome anytime. I guess it's not, necessarily contradictory. That's pretty powerful, though. Liked that part. Yeah, I guess. The episode went pretty quickly. I don't know if I got a bit better, but I'm acclimatized a little bit more. I was like, should I call off the recording today? I'm like, it's getting pretty fucked. Anyway. But obviously, this is another one of those like important, cohesive episodes that aren't all that episodic. I would say that this has most relation to obviously episode 9, but also episode 2. The Tokoyami specifically there, and the stuff about it reminding him of his humanity almost, and like his desire and like innateness to live almost. And then again in episode 2, him passing on that lesson, we can now kind of see where that lessons come from. Very, very important episode in retrospect, of course. And yeah, episode 9, did I say that before? The fucking one-eyed fish. Important there too, obviously. It's the continuation. The fragrant darkness. If I can speak, I don't... Anyway. Moving on to episode 14. And there we have it, episode 14 up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 42 seconds on that one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. Same old subs, picture in picture. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, we're not shivering. I was ready to start shivering, but no. We are elsewhere. Huh. The fragrant darkness. One of my favorite tropes is almost remembering something, thinking that there's something there but you've forgotten it. So off to a good start is my point. God, I wish. Just a cool change would be crazy. Oh, hello, Ginkgo. It me, Ginkgo. Offering his trade. What about your frickin' memory thing? That's normal. Well, would you even have context for what I'm talking about then? Anyway. It's a strange question. That's okay. 100%. They're just chill. They're chill, normal guys. Yeah, and time continues to pass on. Yep. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. What happened? Oh, it's her wedding day. Okay, I thought it was a funeral. They were in black. We're moving crazy with the timeline, huh? How does this make sense? Okay. Think it's starting. It's like not quite deja vu. It's almost like the opposite. But it's that similar feeling. The tunneling horror. Don't go in random tunnels. If you see a hole, don't think you're a mole. Everyone knows that one. Ooh, okay, it might lead to some discoveries, though. Well, I mean, probably. The episode needs a plot. Ooh. Forgot a very long time ago. Ah. Okay. Something about sake? How about a please? He's such a hater. What's with you? Don't do that shit. You're weak as piss. Fucking be a man. Child. He's wearing a hoodie? Alright, he's run away. Oh, no. Okay, no. Sabotage. Gotcha. Should have taken the fall for the fucking pot then. Ruined everything. Trillions lost. So what's the ginkgo connection here? Is there one? Sakura Blossom. I don't know. Did that kid from before transition? So you even now feel like you remember her? What a weird episode. I'm in though. I want to see what's going on. Oh, what a gentleman. Now they're getting married. It's all it takes, fellas. Just carry a bag every once in a while. Indeed. What of the tunnel? Oh. I think I see what's happening. Maybe. I think you did. One timeline ago. That's such a cool line now. Must have an exit. Does an exit? And then back to the beginning? Certainly seems like it. How many frickin' loops has this kid done? Well, I know something you can change immediately if you want to change the past. Don't use your top at that time. If you break the vase, take the blame for it. Lots of things you can do. Just be friends with that kid. Of course, because it's his wife. That's why he knows her. It's cute that he gets with her every single timeline, though. Very cool episode. I like this one. Anything weird going on? Now I get the feeling that this visit isn't so random. Yeah, man, I feel like I'm perpetually trapped in a never-ending cycle of my own life. Okay, here we go. Thoughts, Ginkgo? Okay, so he maybe doesn't know. Disconcerting, great word. Bit of deja vu. It's that Lupin tunnel. Why would it do that? Just to fuck with them? Like, cosmically? Certainly seems like what's happening. Is that what deja vu is? Is that why... Am I trapped too? Well, now you have the knowledge, right? So what happens now once you get to the tunnel again? Yeah, that would be my next question. Because it's essentially time travel, but you're forgetting everything, so it's fine. Okay, so it might, like, consume you? Okay. Whatever you say, Ginkgo. Boss. Thought we were going here too. I think you do that already. Just interested what we do in the end here. I feel like I've seen that shot specifically like a ton in the show. Spooky tunnel, don't go near it. Brother, I've always been in the tunnel. He's doing the thing? Is it just gonna let him go? I finally woke up. Dude, you're freaking me out. That's cute. It's very much within the philosophy of the show to not want to go back and change things. Or maybe want to, but not act on that impulse. So he's just being a good little boy right now. Don't look back, keep moving forward. Except if Iku's fucking dead. Yeah, she is. Nah, she's cooked. Whoa. Great. I thought we needed a more compelling reason for him to want to go back in time, right? Good job, show. Good job. Yeah, but I like my wife and I don't want her to die. Honestly, I'm kind of with the guy. I'm with this guy. A little bit. Live your old age by yourself because your wife's dead? Or go back in time and fucking live with her and eventually be consumed by the fucking... by the thing. By the guy. I don't know. But now you've got that same feeling, right? And you know. Claims another victim. Now, I've got some other theories too. Do we think that this Mushi itself is powerful enough to cause things to happen on the mountain, per se, that make people want to use it? Then it gets a bit sinister. And that's going to be our ending, huh? What a cool episode. Really, really cinematic as well. Focused. Great concept. Really interesting, thought-provoking ending. What would you choose, chat room? I'm with him. I'd go into the tunnel again. Kind of feels like, the end of Futurama. You know, the end before they brought it back again. Just a little bit. Like that whole go back over and start again conceit. I feel like that's kind of romantic. At least a little bit. There's a whole, you know, her consent matter in it, which is not great. But yeah, I mean, what purpose is there for me living this average life, very isolated, if I don't have a partner with me? If I don't have my wife of 30, 40 years with me? What's the point? What is the point? But also we can't fall into that thinking because, again, you know, the whole philosophy of the show is to keep moving forward regardless. And they did doom themselves. They are now trapped within the Mushi. The husband's never going to want to change anything again. He's going to want to keep going into the tunnel until she wakes up. Yeah. Like, they fell for it, but I think I would have fallen for it as well. Interesting one. Lingering Crimson. And I think that's about enough of that. I'm going to go sit somewhere that's not here for a little bit, and I'll return later, probably later tonight, to talk about these some more. But 2 thumbs up. Good episodes. Really, show's damn good. I feel like this is, if this continues at this trend, this segment, this last kind of run is going to be the best stuff in the show. Just, you'll see me. I'll talk about it. They're great. They're awesome. And we are back. It's a little bit later on during the day. Hopefully cooled down a little bit. I've just shut the door there, so we'll see how we go. But 2 very interesting, very different episodes we had here today from Mushishi. One leaning more in the serialized, continuous story, good Ginkgo backstory stuff, right? The stuff that kind of continues off very well from last week. And another that it's just a damn good episode, like of the episodic stuff, right? Like, good concept, well executed, lots of focus, interesting moral dilemma and ethical question at the center of it, all these things and more that we've been saying about Mushishi as a show that makes it excellent. So yeah, you kind of got the best of both worlds. That's kind of the theme, I guess, running into these 2. Like, these 2 episodes show the full breadth of what the show can do, right? And it's good at both. I kind of wish they did a little bit more serialized stuff sometimes, but yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of superlatives for Mushishi at this juncture. Let's put it that way. Now, on the analysis side, I think bulk of it is going to take place in this episode here. I think next episode is less about, like, what's the word? Because it's good. It's well produced and whatever else like the rest of the show is. It's not crazy, though. It's well edited, I guess, would be the production thing going for it. I mean, more to the point, it's all about the mystery, and it's all about information reveal, and it's all about when you get it, and it's all about the aftermath and the decisions made. That's the interesting stuff. And again, as a result, maybe less to talk about there, because, again, I'll just be talking about what I think about the ethical dilemma and what I would have done and whatever else. I don't know. And with this one, episode 13, you can make all sorts of inferences to other episodes and stuff. It helps it feel, I don't know, there'll be more to talk about, I'm sure. Either way, we might as well pop back through, have a look before it gets too hot again. Starts off in an interesting spot here, of course. We have Suguro, who is a Mushishi that's, you know, senior to Ginkgo. This is when Ginkgo is quite young. I wonder if you can tell from this. Not really. I just kind of look at that and see Ginkgo, which kind of confused me on some timeline stuff very early in the piece there. But yeah, his role in the episode is kind of not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, okay, he's going to be way more of a mentor figure and show Ginkgo how to, you know, be a good Mushishi post all the Nui stuff. Like, Nui's great about coaching him through the loss of his mother and learning about the world and a few bits of philosophy here and there, but Ginkgo's not Ginkgo yet. He doesn't have these kind of problems to deal with, and very clearly feels lost in the wake of that stuff. So that's what Suguro's role is, to pick him back up, get him on his feet, and teach him that all-important lesson at the end of the episode as well. But again, we didn't do as much of that as I thought we would have. I thought it would have been like, okay, now this is how you do your backpack, and this is how you know, we do a bit of that stuff with the cigarette, but like, I thought we'll do more so. Like, things we've seen Ginkgo do in the rest of the show that would be shown here. Less so of that. I guess in the short term there as well, I should make note of Ginkgo unconscious on the ground, surrounded by Mushishi. This is one of the results that happens if he is to stay put too long. It's nice that we actually see a result to that, this thing that's just been told to us throughout the rest of the show. We've been well across this, but Mushishi as a show is very good at dichotomy. So, well, Ginkgo as a character as well. Again, the whole 2 eyes, one that, you know, is a Mushi and sees presumably Mushi stuff like this, and another that kind of is the human side and can see that perspective a little bit more. As his hair is white, his eye is black, yin and yang, opposites, and seeing all sides. It's kind of Ginkgo's go. So again, continuing and building upon that, we have Ginkgo dreaming and Ginkgo closing his eyes. It's the nighttime, it's that other realm, and seeing the forest guardian, seeing the mountain guardian there. Also like it as well, the background there and the darkness calling back to Ginkgo being lost in the forest in the wake of, the stuff with Nui, and walking out on the other side and seeing, that horizon, seeing that moon or sun or whatever your persuasion is there. Again, continuing on from last week, that light at the end of the tunnel, the thing that we need to keep on moving forward for. One of the central themes of this episode as well is belonging. Ginkgo doesn't feel like he belongs to either side, or a community, or he can't stay in one spot. It's like, by his nature, he doesn't feel like he's welcome anywhere, which again gets flipped on its head by the end of the episode, of course. That's kind of what he means by the mountain guardians kind of looking at him through the darkness, in that kind of Mushi side. It's like trying to figure out what I am. In that same way, Ginkgo's trying to figure out what he is as well. Is he the light in the darkness, or is he the darkness surrounding the light? He doesn't have anybody else like him anymore. Feels very lonely. Pretty surface level stuff, but definitely there and well executed. We should also bring up this piece of expositional dialogue, which implies that Ginkgo already has a little bit of notoriety as somebody that goes around and fixes problems, Musha-related things and whatnot. He got into this whole Mushishi business pretty early, and has already had some run-ins with Mushishi that didn't go exactly as planned. Probably very similar to this, where they bring in an apprentice and then bad things start to happen. So yeah, Suguro here is another one in a long line of Mushishi that have done similar things here. A few choice lines here as well. When he first walks in and sees Ginkgo like kind of hoffing down the food, he's like, oh, well, you're human after all. Which I thought was a cute line, considering that Ginkgo doesn't know what he is, human or Mushi. And this line here, you can prevent disasters from happening as long as you keep moving, Ginkgo knows this. He feels lonely. He's a kid. He wants to be with his community, instead of straddling this line between both Mushi and human. It's what that scene near the Corky River's about as well. He sees in death, like, this circle of souls. Like, even in death, these, like, mountain guardian type guys still have community and still have unity and feel like they belong. Everything just makes sense. Or again, it's really quite tragic and underpins a lot of other parts of the show. Yeah. I'm particularly thinking about, this may be an odd pull, episode from season 1 where they're in the snow and there's that lady with her little brother. Ginkgo would love to stay in a situation like that, but this is the reminder from back in the day that he can't do that. And again, even though this seems like my circle where I can belong, I'm kind of cursed. I have nowhere where I can belong, Suguro seems to try to frame himself here as a point of difference to the other Mushishi that have interacted with him. He seems to think that they're mostly just using Ginkgo, and Suguro comes in here with the best intentions. Has a look at his eye and diagnoses it as a tokoyami. Of course, we know the story there from that one-eyed fish episode. But crucially enough, this isn't information that Ginkgo had available. So upon hearing this, that there's a Mushi trapped in there that could potentially be removed, he jumps at the opportunity. I'll become normal again, is the line we use here. Again, all about belonging and community. I want to just blend in. That's his thing. But we break the news here to Ginkgo. This thing that attracts Mushi, it isn't the Tokoyami. That thing doesn't specifically bring all these guys to you. That's you. And we knew this from the past. Like, there's a reason why bad things kept happening to him and his mother all the way back in the day before the Nui stuff, right? Like, he's almost cursed in that way. Yeah, it really is a terrible upbringing, isn't it? It's a terrible way to go. I sometimes feel like I go through the show a little bit too fast here. Like, there's a reason why we put, like, good-looking art of this kind of stuff in here, other than it just being pretty, other than it just being, like, filler. Like, I particularly think that the metaphor of a kind of flower bud that hasn't quite bloomed yet is apt for where Ginkgo is at in his life, Like, he hasn't quite fully understood everything yet. It's almost like a metaphor for adolescence in a lot of ways. Like, he's not quite here with, like, Suguro and that. He needs to learn a little bit more to get here. It also works as well as we're teaching him tips and tricks about basic herbs, and the herbs on this mountain growing particularly strong and potently. Even stuff like this, where we just come to the top of the peak and have a look around, that reinforces the scene later on when kind of he's fucked up and everything's like falling apart. Like, we need this investment early in the location and how beautiful it is for that stuff to hit pretty hard. Like, hey, this place is, you know, have all these beautiful flowers, looks lush and gorgeous and really potent, really valuable for Mushishi as well. And then Ginkgo kind of ruins it and feels like he's just a fuck up. You know, you need that investment there. I choose to read into this as well as teaching Ginkgo some social skills and manners. Even though their interactions here are brief. Like, hey, Ginkgo's, I don't know, he's a pretty depressed guy when he's younger. Like, he doesn't seem like he has it all together yet. Where, again, the Ginkgo that we know has it all together and is definitely very, well, most of the time, very socially aware and good at this side of things. So again, it's fun to see a different side. It's fun to see him before he was that way. Now, there was 2 dudes with guns there too. Just a broad question. Do we have guns anywhere else in the show? I can't seem to remember them, but I could be incorrect. I could be misremembering. Another production detail. Really like this shot. You can kind of see it in the background there. Look at that grass, kind of in the foreground of the background there, compared to the other stuff. Just different movement levels to them, giving that effective, a bit more depth in the frame. It's well done. It's subtle enough. It wasn't jarring either. I think they did a good job there. This is where Ginkgo's asking a lot of questions about the Mountain Lord, and specifically what would happen if the Mountain Lord was to disappear. Considering the one that we do have is on his last legs, he's nearing death. So if the new one hasn't showed up yet, like, what gives? What are we going to do? If a Mountain Guardian never showed up, the whole world would fall apart. The lack of a Mountain Lord would be like flowers not blooming in the springtime. They are embodiments of the natural order of life. Mountain Lords signify the bond between the mountains and the natural order itself. Where again, okay, Ginkgo dropping that egg has a lot of significance now too, right? Based on that scene. He feels like he's this anomaly that isn't natural almost. Like, he feels like he's the inverse of normal and the regular flow of things. And is probably fair enough to feel himself a little bit cursed, considering the Nui stuff, the mum stuff, and whatever else. He can't, like, hang around people. So that's why he feels so bad upon dropping the egg. It's like, oh, well, that's just natural for me, Ginkgo the outsider. And I fucked up the natural order of things. Forever. Which, again, doesn't end up being forever, but still, it's fine. That night, Ginkgo has a dream, doesn't see those eyes anymore, and correctly deduces that the Mountain Lord has passed away. Oh, that's another fun detail too. Great. We didn't really emphasize this as much as I thought we were going to, but so Ginkgo is told to stay put because the Mountain Guardian has died. The mountain's going to be a bit uneasy, a bit testy. Ginkgo, you're a bit green. Just chill over here for a bit. Everything's going to be all right. Ginkgo then oversteps that boundary and starts looking, which is when he finds the egg and does that whole side of things. So yeah, there's a little bit of like wanting to do a little bit too much to it as well, to the point where if you just stayed put, everything would have ran a bit smoother. Anyway, this is a fun wrinkle. So what do we think about the choice of an egg, or a bird you would assume, as the next Mountain Lord? Just metaphorically. I think an egg explicitly ties into, well, both like parenthood, but specifically like your mother, which again could be 2 separate people here. It could be Nui and it could be his birth mother, both of which he's kind of stayed around with, and it led to their death. And again, we address this side of it specifically in the dialogue as well, but this is like a chosen one. And Ginkgo feels like an unchosen one. He feels like he's been cursed and doomed and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I could be the perfect child with the perfect family, with the perfect, like, deemed fate from up above, if I was to just, like, consume the egg here and now. Again, it's only a thought that runs through his head only briefly, but it's what leads to his hesitation in the breaking of the egg. Something that's kind of precious and, you know, defenseless as well. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to that too, in my opinion. Like, it's that self-fulfilling prophecy a little bit. I'm around this thing that's so very special. Like, I better put it down before I hurt it, but also I kind of want that power. There's a temptation to it as well. Egg as rebirth too, as a new life, as another chance, as springtime, as a new bloom. Lots of stuff there for sure. Breaking the world shell, as I so astutely put it in the reaction. I don't think we're breaking any world shells here tonight, unfortunately. I think the pacing really works here as well. There's prolonged shots of Ginkgo looking at the egg and considering things. Once again, the light and the darkness motif coming through as well. The eyes of the former forest, I keep saying forest, former mountain lord, as well as the glow of the egg in the darkness too. It's something that he wants to reach out for, still this light at the end of the tunnel. Again, character progress for Ginkgo, or I guess kind of retroactive character progress. How did Ginkgo get to be so chill? He went through traumatic shit when he was little, that's why. He's got a really good perspective on things. He's come out on the other side. The proof of his philosophy is in the pudding of his own life, I guess. Every time something shit happens to some person in Mushishi, in the show, he's like, well, you gotta keep moving. Because again, that's what he knows from experience. So yeah, seeing him make immature decisions in the here and now is, yeah, kind of satisfying to see. It's like, okay, yeah, I know you've got the evidence behind your decision making later on. Fun one to notice as well, really like the shot of the bird, just really like disorientating and like aggressive and shaky, blurry too. It really creates this moment where it's conceivable that he would drop such a precious thing. It's startling. He is a little bit of he's got butterfingers, just a touch. I don't know, reflexes would tell you that you could still catch it after dropping it. Don't think this is a particularly astute observation either, but there is kind of a corky-like substance coming out of the egg. Just makes sense. All it takes is that for the mountain to instantly go to shit as well, which I think talks to the severity and the gravity of what just happened too. And again, probably puts some justification behind Sugoro's words later on, where he's like, no, you've done something irreversible here. I kind of never want to see you again. Like, he did fuck up pretty bad. He did a bad thing. But that doesn't mean that he shouldn't feel welcome. Other places, just not here. Fantastic in the voice performance department too. Just little kid Ginkgo going for it. Just checked on ANN. I couldn't see any other voice listed, so... But I don't think it's the same VA, is it? I don't think so. Great performance, really liked it. Something I noticed very early in the episode as well was the contrast between Sugoro and the Mountain Guardian, as both these kind of, again, Ginkgo has two sides, I don't need to keep saying it. The human side mentor over here, Sugoro, and kind of the Mushi side mentor over here with the Mountain Lord, and what he shows him at the River of Light here a little bit later on. That dichotomy is clear to see here as well, as he yells out for both Sugoro and the Mountain Lord to help. As to fix this situation, to fix this fuck up that I've had. Like some of this stuff too, Ginkgo just kind of floating in space after kind of taking a little tumble and finding that River of Light once again. It's kind of like he's in utero a little bit, kind of like the egg. You could probably see a lot of Ginkgo as the egg, as this like kind of ball of potential right now, as somebody that actually is quite important, even if he can't see himself in that way right now. You know, we may get to see Ginkgo's incredible importance even a little bit later on. I feel like in that movie we may get a little bit of a Ginkgo chosen one status, or at least right place, right time kind of guy. Everything happens for a reason and all that. I don't know. Ginkgo could also be the egg, is an interpretation. So all the way back to episode 2 of the show, what do we remember? We remember that blind kid seeing that River of Light, and Ginkgo acting as that guardian, as somebody that's kind of like goalkeeping it, not letting anybody through, not looking at it himself, but like, you know, just warning others. Looking at the River of Light and wanting to go into it is tempting. It is tempting to want to fade away into nothingness and just become pure energy. Even specifically for Ginkgo, and I'll skip ahead a little bit now, just the circle of fire. This is appealing to him. Finding community like this. If my life sucks out here, this mightn't be that bad. But no, this is where Ginkgo gets his philosophy of kind of keeping your circumstances and living on as you are regardless. And again, that's that lesson that he imparts in episode 2 as well. That, hey, I know it sucks, I know you're blind, I know you're trapped in this frickin' room. You just gotta tough it out. Things get better. I'll make your eyes better, it'll be all good. Just don't fall for the temptation, the same temptation that tempted me so much back in the day. That even probably tempts him on some level even now. I don't know, I feel like that's really significant. Really damn significant, and some great kind of fleshing out of stuff that was shown very early. Once again, just cohesive. I like that the Mountain Lord himself kind of walks into the River of Light once his time is up and disintegrates, and I like that the Mountain Lord egg that we broke had Corky in it. Again, you don't need a character that goes, this is how this works, but you can kind of interpret how it works, right? Like a little bit. great. Just enough, just opaque enough, I think, to still be interesting. Yeah, specifically right there. Filling that empty spot is huge. I don't feel like I have an empty spot to fill. And if I, maybe I could join in with those guys if I just walk in. I guess in this way, it's an interesting episode to contrast with next episode, right? Where again, kind of the dude voluntarily goes back into the loop. He falls for the trap once again, and instead of dealing with the hardship, chooses safety and normalcy and everything else. He sees a world without him not otherwise changing very much, and him not having those interpersonal connections. And that's why he goes through with it. But again, Ginkgo's in that same spot right now, and we're still told, no, you got more to do. I think age is huge in it too. Ginkgo's a young lad. That guy's pretty old. It's tough. I feel like it's hard to advocate for this decision here and advocate for the decision of the guy next episode, even though I'm going to do it regardless. Significant moment here, of course, is the Toriyami being the thing to pull him back from disappearing into the river. Specifically, it's struggling and producing blood out of Ginkgo. It's this reminder of pain. It's this reminder that he is in fact alive, that he is in fact living, that he is a human. It's a reminder of all these things. Things aren't just easy for him. He's not just a Mushi, he's not just a human, he's kind of both. He's got to tread that line, he's got to work towards these goals without falling too far to either side. It even is kind of advocating for living with some amount of pain in your life in some ways too, which I'm unsure about. Like, hey, this human side of you, this pain that you feel, is also the thing that's pulling you back from disappearing into nothingness. Which I think there's some philosophy there for sure. The Toriyami still acting independent of Ginkgo, it just wanting to live. And again, a timely reminder to Ginkgo of how good life is, I guess, and how much that he's maybe taking it for granted right now. I don't know if I'm out of pocket here or not, but these look like womanly hands, like motherly hands, I guess, especially in this kind of pose. It kind of feels like the river itself acting as a mother for Ginkgo, providing and nurturing at least a little bit in the absence of his real, let's call them mothers, That would, of course, tie in with the Ginkgo giving her the egg type idea as well. It's almost like he's communicating with God, whatever God is as well. Like, hey, I'm sorry, but also, like, her palms are out. She, like, clearly forgives you already. She's going to take it in. She's going to take that on board. And, things are going to be a bit fucked up for a while, but there is improvement on the horizon. I forgive you. You made a mistake. That kind of thing. Kind of getting that from this whole encounter. Another gesture there as she leaves is kind of the hand almost showing him away. Like, this isn't where you belong, is kind of my interpretation here. Like, almost telling him to leave because it's in his best interest and isn't his destiny. Prompts Ginkgo to consider things. Do I even deserve to go back? Like, I did the one thing that Suguro didn't want me to do. I ruined the entire mountain, that community. Do I even have a place that I'm welcome to return to? And in the short term, yeah, Suguro is still calling for you. He's concerned about where you are and your presence and stuff. And I really like how we thread the needle here. Like, we don't get off easy. He still says that stuff. But he's still glad we're okay and that we made it and gives us some good advice. I don't know, Suguro, kind of an interesting character there. Also thought this shot was great. This kind of gave me, like, veins a little bit. I don't know, just how connected nature and humanity are and whatever else, and even family tree, branches connecting to one another, the connections we make as humans with others, just good visual language through our backgrounds. We got the epilogue stuff going on now. Basically, the mountain's not fucked forever, but it's fucked for now. A new mountain guardian will appear at some point in time. We can even see it in some of the leaves and stuff, some of the trees just all gone. But hey, you almost met with nature itself, the will of nature, and the will of nature seemed to accept you and didn't fight back against you. You passed the check there, that's great. But hey, I still never really want to see you again. Goodbye. And yeah, it seems like from there it's a pretty bummer ending. We just got kicked out again and Ginkgo's still just drifting. Still no place to belong. Before we get this final piece of wisdom, however, you shouldn't forget, there is no place in the world where we don't belong. That includes you. The natural order let you come back. So the proof's in the pudding there too. We have the closest thing we have to a god saying, you're cool. You can stay here. Which again, like, that's the River of Light. That's huge. That's everything. So, like, you're welcome anywhere, basically. You pass the check as a human. This is a place where humans and Mushi and nature and everything coexist. You fit into one of those categories. You belong here, no matter what you might think. As a matter of fact, you're very, very important for keeping balance. I like Ginkgo looking up to his stars during this scene as well. What lies in his destiny from now? But instead of thinking big picture, he sees the Mushi in the foreground instead. You know? Maybe don't think big picture for a little bit. Maybe just focus on these guys for a little bit. You know? Yeah. Once again there, that kind of blooming flower versus closed flower motif too. Really like the spider here too, and kind of the natural order of its web. Very similar shot to the shot of the branches there earlier too. Just, hey, I'm myself and I'm working in tandem with nature, like all these other things are, you know, working to their natures as well. As all these other things are life, I am also life. I belong here, just the same way other life does. And ending shot, kind of grabbing on his missing eye, that Tokoyami, and falling to sleep. Almost cherishing it and cherishing that pain, even if only a little bit, as it is the thing that pulled me back from the brink. Kind of the ending there is him finding calmness in his difference. The eye, again, it's what differentiates him. Hey, I'm okay with this now and I'm moving on. Very, very well executed little flashbacky episode. 2 thumbs up. Very well done. So now, next episode. This episode is all information reveal, and that's already done. I know pretty handily what's been happening here. He's stuck in a time loop. There's a looping tunnel Mushi that has kind of trapped him within, and he's been going around this loop of his own life for who knows how long, experiencing deja vu at weird points, as these are the points when he remembers all those previous lives once again. It's weird that very early on in the episode, in the reaction, I said, this is like a weird deja vu-y kind of thing. I said like anti-deja vu, before it just became like the Mushishi equivalent of deja vu later on. I was almost there. Some clever stuff early on. I like the smell of the sakura blossoms. I think that's a cool touch, especially again, that infraction point seems to be that fateful day, or very close to when he meets his wife. Like, hey, bringing that branch down and helping her smell it. Now, thinking about that, bringing that branch down and helping her smell it is very similar to what he does at the very end, right? When she's injured. I'm, like, bringing her with me into the tunnel, you know, to redo this all over again. And it creates this great sense, and again, I'll just skip to it. Like, it creates this great sense of, like, oh, he, like, knows what's happening when he does this. There's a knowing look here from him right there, like desperation, like I am starting this thing again willingly. I don't know, smart. The smell was a cool element too. Now for most of this episode I thought that Ginkgo maybe knew more here than he was letting on, like he knew there was a time loop thing going on and was just kind of letting it be until he said something. But no, this meeting with Ginkgo, he didn't know until the guy started describing the symptoms, and then he's like, oh, it's that, probably. I think the point of difference here, early on, is just how fucking normal they are. They live by themselves. They kind of, you know, till their own fields and get their own food, and they're just kind of working for their daughter. No problems, no drama, no nothing. Just a, you know, a random interaction with Ginkgo this other day is all the supernatural stuff that's been going on with them. Until, again, we start to notice more in the looping and whatever else. Also really love the use of montage in this episode, and the edit of it. I guess the scenes we've chosen to display when and where, and creating this timeline for it to be repeatedly used. Like, just well done. Effectively shows milestones in the lives, and the seasons changing, and people's ages changing, and, you know, just tells the story very well with that dialogue. Now, when we fly this far ahead in the timeline, it kind of made me think a few things. I'm like, okay, well, Ginkgo's not going to get re-involved now because Ginkgo himself is going to be like 50 or something. So like, that's not going to happen. We're not going to bring in a 50-year-old Ginkgo here to sort shit out. So something's got to give. And we've kind of been mentioning a weird deja vu kind of feeling, and I thought time travel could be on the cards here, is my point. Like, generally we don't see characters age like this unless it's the very end of the episode and we're bringing it towards its conclusion. And yeah, I mean, I don't need to tell you guys the plot, do I? He goes in the damn tunnel and he starts looping around. He's just kind of on a stroll. He's finding some mountain vegetables and he gets drawn in once again. We're unsure here at this point how many times this has happened, but it happens every time. Because he's the same bloke every time, because nothing changes. You know? If, without acted upon by another different force, things will always remain the same. You know? I don't really like his justification, though. I can smell flowers, which means that this tunnel might have a way through. It might be a shortcut so I can get back to my wife quicker. Goodbye. I just think that's bad survival sense. Anyway. Weird. Another piece of brilliance. It could be pretty easy without this little piece of dialogue framing things to think that, you know, he's walking straight into his past. And then the kind of mystery of the episode kind of shatters there a little bit. Instead, it starts and he almost frames something like a flashback to happen. And then, when we go into his past, here, it's like, oh, the flashback's happening, sweet. Like, we don't automatically clock it as time travel, which makes the reveal later on a bit more exciting. So a couple things we resisted, right? I thought that this whole interaction with this kid and the way we treated him and the things that he did, and I think it's heavily implied that he bankrupted the family. The family's business is sake. He's like part of the worker class where Kaoru, who's the guy, he's like the son of the dude that's running the show. So like, hey, they work in sake. These guys are demanding more pay. Boss is like, no, make better sake first. Obviously, again, we're not inclined to like each other. This results in a bit of a back and forth, which ends with you sabotaging the whole business and running away. I thought that we were going to realize it's time travel a lot sooner and we were going to try to fix this and that would like fuck up the timeline almost. Like some fucking, you know, a Christmas Carol type shit. We didn't go that direction, and in retrospect, I'm happy we resisted it. I think what we ended up with is a little bit more ambiguous. He is kind of a cunt, though. Why did he tell, like, his little mate to pick up the top for it? Like, what are you doing, buddy? You pick it up. Or at least if you want him to pick it up. Hey, mate, grab that, please. Thank you. Cheers. It's not hard. Just use your manners. It all happens very quickly, like the pot breaking and the blaming and the sabotage. And yeah, I think that's what this shot and this shot of them kind of leaving like that, right, implies that the company shut down. You got rid of all our inventory, we couldn't recoup the losses, you all have to go. Where again, we're lucky enough to fall on our feet, we have some property out here that we can then just move to. And that's when the rest of my life happens. Again, I thought that it was going to be like, no, if I was nice to him, I could save the business and we could be more prosperous and my family could be... We didn't end up doing that. Be a weird feeling, like getting deja vu just seeing a girl that you see for the first time and thinking, do I know her? I think I know her. And it being your wife that you've wifed like 10 timelines in a row? Like, it'd wig you out. Again, you guys have probably experienced deja vu. That's, like, exactly what it is. It's a weird feeling, man. I've always liked the idea that deja vu was, like, alternate universes where the timelines differed, you know? Kind of like some Mandela effect type shit. Like, very similar in my mind. Some of the montaging is a little bit clunky. Like, it goes from... Again, we can fill the blanks, though. We know they marry each other, so it's fine. But he, like, helps her with her backpack here, and then they get married, like, within 2 seconds. I'm like, that's just... It's that easy, folks. And yeah, at this point, you should know what's going on. He looped back around again. Especially after seeing Ginkgo there in the montage, too. You're like, something weird's going on, you know? That's a fun line there, too, as he goes around for his next loop. Again, my wife may start to worry. And again, that intrinsic connection to the wife and that relationship and that being so potent within the timeline too. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. Once again, just really enjoying this on the rewatch. It feels like one of these stories that almost like supersedes Mushishi as a show. Like, you could just show this to anybody. I just think it's a compelling piece of television. A really good short almost that you could just... There you go. Look at this. It's cool. Just maybe truncate some of the Ginkgo Mushishi mumbo jumbo stuff up here in a minute and then you're good. This thing, just show it to anybody, whenever. So one thing we could maybe read into chat room, just a little bit, is that Kaoru has gone through all these loops, right? God knows how many, but he eventually wokeified himself. It took Ginkgo explaining some stuff, but he got there eventually. Does that mean that Iku here, the wife, she's going to have a similar experience in the future? Of like, oh, wait, no, I have done this before, and she's going to ask that same question of Ginkgo, and then that's going to create more drama for you guys later? Potentially. Again, we don't get to see that, so it's hard to speculate. Just an interesting one. Will she wake up to what's happening? Or will the husband potentially prevent that, knowing what lies at the end? He's already took that decision out of her hands. She didn't really consent to it. It's a weird one. Now, this is where everything starts to unravel a little bit. Ginkgo arrives again. Well, for the first time. But now we're armed with knowledge. We're like super sure now that something weird's going on, that there's this weird feeling of deja vu, and we ask Ginkgo what he may think about it. As always, Ginkgo has that encyclopedic knowledge of Mushi. Upon hearing that deja vu is one of the symptoms, he's like, do you feel anxious when you smell flowers at night? You do? Okay, it's probably this fucking tunnel Mushi type guy. Is there anything in his name being Karu and the name of the Mushi being Kairo? Is that anything going on there? Because again, he somewhat becomes almost like the time Mushi for his wife at the very end. He draws her into the trap in the same way that he was drawn into the trap by the Mushi the first time. Like, is there any analog there that we're trying to pull from? Maybe a little bit. And yeah, Ginkgo's little exposition speech here is quite interesting, because how do you even record something like this happening? Nobody else has an encyclopedic knowledge of somebody else's life to check if it's deja vu, if they actually remember all these different things. It's really self-diagnosed, mostly. The only advice you can give him is, hey, be aware that there's this tunnel guy. Don't go in the tunnel later on. That's all you can do to really break the loop and whatever else is happening. Love this line here too. As far as I know, no one trapped by the Kairo has ever managed to change the past into one of his own choosing. Meaning that, again, people don't possess the knowledge base to go back and then change the timeline. Which is a nice coverall for time travel, really. Like, no one's really going back and altering things. That's a fun line there too. I feel like this is the overall ecology of the Kairo as well. Like, you bring people into the tunnel, and as they go through repeatedly, you're sapping energy from them, blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, that's how it works as a living creature. But the line here is that, hey, you may become one with it if you continue to use it, which again is what happens by the very end, as he voluntarily uses it on his dying wife. Like, he became one with it, you know? He became like that same guy. 100%. That's a very valid interpretation that the show wants you to have. He says all the right things here, though. Like, there's stuff in my past that I do want to change, but more than that, I would like to live out the rest of my life. Ginkgo's like, buddy, you already got the moral. Great job. Again, if we were going to do a more rote time travel story of, hey, I've actually got it pretty good, I shouldn't change what I have, blah, 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 blah. I'll ask something Back to the Future or whatever. We do something else entirely, which I think is better. Like, we don't fall for a rote story. He just gets the moral of it immediately, that moving forward is ultimately better. This is also fun too. There's these repeated shots where we cut out the background and it very much looks like he's still in the tunnel. As a matter of fact, there's an interpretation that he could be. Like, he could just be hallucinating all of this, walking through the tunnel over and over again, and it's kind of taken an imprint of his life and is just repeating it for him. Like, that could be the case, a little bit. I just like it as a touch, without thinking anything concrete on it. And yeah, this is that infraction point. This is where he makes the decision to not enter the tunnel again and continue on with his life. Like, no redos. He's gonna just do it and see the rest of it. His wife's waiting for him, like his wife has been waiting for him for centuries now almost, you know, and he reacts accordingly. I feel like I've been in a blissful nightmare this entire time. From this day on, every day will be a new day. Very, very cute. And that's what I think I checked the time left in the episode here. I'm like, because something's got to give, something's got to happen, and something happened. It did. I think we left the most interesting stuff in the episode for right at the very end. So she's fucking dead. There's no doctor nearby. She's bleeding from the head. It's this time in history. The prospects aren't good. She's already old. Not good. She's probably going to die. Which creates this drama, right? Because then we see the tunnel again, and we're like, okay, right. Either she dies, or we bring her into the loop and we go back around again, right? I don't want to lose my wife. I would rather re-enter the vicious cycle than live in a world without her. Now, crucial to this, I think, is age. He is old, she is old. They don't have much time left. They might as well just give their lives over to this thing. I think that's a perfectly justifiable thing already, even if it's not what the show wants you to think, I guess. The only part I'm unsure about in this decision for him is the consent. Would she have consented to this, of him re-entering this whole thing? Again, she's none the wiser at the moment, but eventually she's going to figure things out too. How's that going to go down? Especially when it becomes clear to her that he was the one that brought her into this. He became the monster. He became the Mushi in that process. Weird feeling, you know. But once again, super interesting. I love this stuff where we cut to, you know, this stuff by the tree and the cherry blossoms, and him bringing the branch down very knowingly. Like, the whole episode's repetition, and it's a great flip on that whole concept. And again, now we play this reincarnation thing for her. And again, it's very funny that her infraction point, again, surrounds Sakura Blossoms, as well as her meeting her husband, who was ultimately her like guardsman. Like, he's keeping her prisoner. I just think it's very well written. It's very smart. It's very concise. And yeah, ending the episode at a very similar spot to where we started, seeing Ginkgo again. She's questioning things. She's left now in a very similar spot to where we were very early on. Just wonderful. It's kind of cyclical, and yeah, just great fiction. Lovely damn show. Yeah, I wonder if other people have other interpretations and other, like, reasons why, no, now you're super wrong, ugh, I hate you. I wonder if anybody thinks like that. I don't know, let me know. Like the video, subscribe, all that other kind of stuff. Patreon if you want to be that 1 week ahead. Getting to the pointy end a little bit with Mushishi. 5 weeks left, I think, something like that. So, yeah. It's gone pretty quickly, actually. It's been a ride for sure. Anyway, we'll leave that for later on. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.